Coach Crookes, you've been here a while, but you're the brand new head coach. What are some things that are going to be different about Mules baseball under you?
I think some of the differences on the field, maybe the brand of baseball, I guess, that we would play. Obviously, the teams in the years past have been terrific, and my expectations are the same. I think the way we go about doing things on the field, whether it just be philosophy in terms of offensive philosophy, base running, bunting, some of those things may be different than what people are used to seeing with previous regimes, and I think that just comes from personality. And the team, I would assume, just will be, play with maybe an overall different personality as well, just based on the fact that there's a little bit different leadership. But I think a lot of the things that'll change, likely for me, are just going to be the administrative things, obviously, that I was lucky enough not to ever have to dive into before, and now I'm back to doing those things as well. And those are some of the good things that I think will also change the face of the team because it's me, and some of the other things will be probably exactly the same.
And some things that obviously aren't going to change, the tradition of just great baseball here. What are a couple other things that you plan on keeping, the same as what has been in the years past?
Well, I think the tradition is there because of the success that's been there and the way they've gone about their business. And so some of the things that we certainly are going to keep are, I think our team's always been known for their effort and their attitude, and those things are going to remain. And I want them to remain. I think our style of baseball, like I said, may appear different, but a lot of that may just be the signs and the timing of things that happen. Specifically, I think we want to be as competitive as a team as possible, and I think we want to play the best baseball from first pitch to last pitch of the game. And I think those consistent things that have always been here in the past will remain here, and certainly that's the goal.
So we're getting ready to jump right into the 2015 season. What are some expectations you have about your team? I'm sure you haven't got to spend a ton of time with them as a team out there on the field, actually playing, but what are some things you expect out of them this year?
As I mentioned before, effort and attitude, controlling what they can control. Those things I think are non-negotiables for us. We value 90 feet, so I expect them, offensively on the offensive side to try to, achieve 90 feet however possible at all times. And then defensively, we value 90 feet as well. And so being sound defensively and on the mound and not giving away free 90 feet are a big part of what I expect from this club. And then I think this club has over the course of the fall and the winter that I've been able to watch has a great amount of chemistry. And chemistry, I think, can carry us over some tough times, some rough opponents, and some things that aren't necessarily going to be easy for us. And so I expect that to remain very strong.
What are some things then you've seen out of your guys so far, in terms of like a projected lineup? Who's kind of standing out in your mind so far?
Well, we returned some guys that have got some experience in Trevor Jones, Tony Sandifer. Dylan Hansen had some experience last year as well. Brad Jelinek and Jackson Schnurbush both saw time at shortstop. So those guys return, and we expect them to be prominent parts of the lineup. There's, again, Derek Cornell, who's been here for a while, is really showing flashes of being somebody that I would imagine would be in the lineup on a day-to-day basis. And then Jake Alexander last year led the team in hitting. So if injuries allow him to be back on the field, he wasn't on the field all fall. We expect some things out of him as well. On the pitching side, we return Ricky. That's a great thing. We return Grant Gavin. That's a great thing. So those are guys we expect to be on the mound. Jake Heisler, we're lucky enough to get back again after last year. So those things return, and the newbies that come along, I think we expect some great things out of Bennett Oliver, out of Dusty Moss. Carlos DeArmas is a special arm, and we're gonna be a little bit new behind the plate catching, and so there will probably be a lot of competition and jockeying for position there. That can be one of four guys probably that has an opportunity to catch, and we haven't pinned that down yet.
So then what kind of outlook do you have for the 2015 season? What are some goals you hope to accomplish?
It's interesting. We just did goals as a team, and certainly I have mine, but in terms of what our group has established, they made it very clear that they wanted to remain a tight-knit group of guys and remain close and be their terminology is for the boys, but they want to be that way consistently from inning 1 to the last inning of the last game that we play. And their goals, and I think they're always here, is to have a strong showing in conference and win a conference and have the opportunity to play in a regional and give ourselves the opportunity to win a regional and make it to the World Series. And if those are the goals here, I think those are the things that are the expectations here. And so I'd be lying if I said that wasn't mine too.
And then just finishing up, in terms of Division II baseball, talk about how tough the MIAA is.
I think, having lived in and around the MIAA and watching it from the outside looking in and now being in it, I think I'm going to liken it to college baseball on the whole. I think it's transformed to where there were a few teams that really worked at it now, and I think the MIAA, with new coaches like Jansen and coach at the UCO, they do a great job. The coaches at UCO, Coach Johnson's at Fort Hays, Coach Murray from here is now at Pitt State. There are so many new coaches in the league that are really, really working at it. Added to already the Missouri Westerns of the world and Coach Lowe at Northwest Missouri State. There's a new coach at Lincoln this year. The MIAA is really, really tough. It's really elevated its game. It's a big conference and it's a good conference. It's deep all the way through 14 teams. SBU is leaps and bounds better than they've been in the past. And every game's a tough game. Every game is one that you're going to be challenged. So I think that's great. I think in terms of comparing it to college baseball on the whole, I see it very similar to being like the SEC. I think you can go 1 through 10 in this conference and find yourself in a really, really tough game with quality baseball. Not tough because it's two average to below average teams playing. It's two very, very good, talented teams playing against each other. And that's been, to me, the biggest change in the MIAA is the depth and the quality of the depth that's grown.